Welcome to Author's Corner, Discovering Diversity Publishing's podcast, where we get to meet authors where they are and find out who they are. I'm your host, Sheena Blake, CEO of Discovering Diversity Publishing. I'm pumped. Let's just get started. Welcome to Author's Corner. I don't know about that last one.
No, and I missed the corner. What's up, y'all? We gonna talk about some stuff today.
Let's just make that our test. Take a test.
Okay, yes.
So she was saying how,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't thought I'm releasing right at this moment, but
Sing, boom, pow, yeah.
DDP. Well, that might have been a little bit excessive, but we gave it a try.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to say, right now we are in a little room in Urban Curls.
Yes.
Which is a hair studio for curly hair. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so it is 10-10-10, and like that intro was kind of crazy. Chelsea, sorry. It is 10-10-10. We are here at Urban Curls with the Kamoy Williams.
That's me.
That's her. That was her on the intro. She's really wonderful.
Thank you.
So Kamoy is the author of My Side. You know what? Sorry, authors have to say their own title.
My Side Hustle Manifesto. Yes.
Go ahead, say the whole thing. I know you want.
Okay, it's My Side Hustle Manifesto, and it's the easy way to create multiple streams of income in 24 hours or less. No kidding.
Mind blown. So, welcome to Author's Corner, DDP's podcast. And thank you for kicking off our podcast by joining our author's tour.
Thank you for having me.
So cool.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
And I.
Yes. And just all around, all of these connections over and over.
Yeah.
So, I know, it's so funny today. You know what? Here's what I have been so excited to hear you tell people about your book.
Yes.
So I have all these things I want to say, and then I'm like, forget it. Tell us what you want to tell us about My Side Hustle Manifesto.
Okay. So My Side Hustle Manifesto was just created I was on fire, just with love, and I was just a need and a needing to be free. Yeah. And I sat and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and it just it took me a day to put this all together.
Okay, so I can remember being, I don't know which number person I was, but I was one of the people that you contacted.
The first one.
I was the first.
Yeah. I'm this is getting published.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that the vibration on my end was that this came from the heavens, or somewhere that is beyond what we call Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the procreative energy.
Yeah.
I just felt it zoomed into me, and then I was okay, right. And all the steps were just laid out in front of me, and the way that I created the book is how the book is meant to be used. And it's My Side Hustle Manifesto. Yeah.
I'm really actually enjoying the fact that we're totally secluded. Just
I like it as well.
So for the rest of 10-10, it's been very intimate, and then a big part of things, which has been amazing. But this is it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? With KCB, it was very intimate too.
At the Wata School.
And Najla, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So as has been tradition with 10-10-10, and the start of Author's Corner podcast, I told a story.
Okay.
so, like, I'm sure the people listening to this podcast, if this is their first one, cool. But if you happen to listen to the first 8 before, you're going to either recite the story or pause it. So it's whatever you got to do, I get it. So here it goes.
Okay.
In my last year of university, I had a professor. And he comes into class one day, and the class is, like, barely bigger than this. Okay?
Yeah.
Very intimate space. He says, here's your assignment. You're going to write an essay on whatever it is you really have been thinking about.
Yeah.
Make it as long as it needs to be to prove your point, and hand it in when you're done. Okay, so everybody's like, sick, that's so cool.
When we're done?
Yeah, but professor, yes. What exactly do we write about? Whatever you want. Did I tell you the story before?
Yes.
Shit.
But I just want to listen to it
fun,
again.
It's fun. The next student says, and it could have been me, I don't remember. You know how hindsight is. No, it wasn't me, actually. Because I can remember being like, he's going to kill you.
No, you said you were super into it. You're like,
I was ready. Yeah, I was ready because he and I had already... But anyways. So I said to him, no, the next person says, oh, but professor, could you just tell us, like, how long a round it needs to be? He said... Like, when, as long as it needs to be to prove your point. And then, like, one more fool. At this moment has the nerve. She asked him, and before she could finish, the man takes a chair and he throws it.
Oh my goodness, what was going on?
And he says, free your mind! Yes! So I start that. I throw that into Author's Corner every time on purpose. If this is your first or your 8th or your 2nd or your 3rd time hearing the story, Author's Corner is meant to be your soapbox.
Yeah.
So what the professor was getting to in that time was that we are allowed to just be free to actually think. And we're so used to being in all of these confines that it's hard to actually imagine what that looks like. And each author has had their moment with me of like... So, like, what is my podcast
like,
about?
What's it about?
I'm like, I don't know. What do you want it to be about?
It's about right now.
So it's been really neat to watch that moment of panic intentionally.
Yeah.
And, like, almost getting caught up and then remembering why I did this in the first place. And then watching what happens with each author as they, like, join 10-10-10.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're just like, like, I have so much to say.
Yes. Wow.
What? Best professor ever. That was a wonderful lesson.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
thank you for that story.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
I think I really like telling it.
I love that story. I feel like going through life, we only have our key stories. Like, and they're so powerful.
What do you mean?
The stories that we always tell and the ones that we like remember so fondly and have such a high emotional connection to. Like there are stories, like I'll always remember like growing up in Jamaica with my great grandparents and running like down a hill and then falling, scraping my knee, and then going to my grandmother and she's like, "Me tell you if you not do go there." Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we always have our stories.
We have the one.
Yeah.
And
they're big for us.
I believe we call those pivotal moments.
Pivotal. Yeah.
PTB has been saying, like, come up against a wall and then move. Like, pivot.
Yeah. Ooh, the springiness, the bounciness.
Oh, pivot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I want you to just go. I think you already went, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me tell you to go. So ignore my tell you to go. Go do your thing.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm just kicking it. What are we doing, Sheena?
Yes.
Okay, this is the part you were talking about. Oh my goodness. I get it.
This is good.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna about the book. I'm just wanting to offer to the world a space where they can create. I was in my apartment the other night and I had a full sense of creation. Like I was just sitting there and looking, and then I got up and I got a piece of paper and I acknowledged myself ripping it out and creating that rip. And I was just looking at the wall and I imagined like it just saying like growth or decay on the wall. And then I sat and I wrote it. And like as I was writing it, I saw myself creating in live action.
Holy
like
shit.
Yeah. And it's like I fully acknowledge that I can create. Like you can create.
Like
and
whatever it is.
Whatever. And like just the simple art of writing it on a piece of paper, it's so powerful. Because it's just coming from our mind, and we're just like forming these thoughts and we're putting them into reality. So yeah, I've just been thinking about creation. Lots of creation.
So I'm hearing you say that, and I don't know if this is because it's been on my mind a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll weave it in because I feel like we're talking around the same things.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going through my mind a lot has been this thing of or a feeling that how dare I do certain things, because if it was actually a good idea, someone else would have done it first.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've had this.
Right?
Yeah.
And like without, like, I know people are like, oh, don't feel like that, like fuck you, like it's a real feeling.
Exactly.
And then so like now the work is
Mm-hmm.
how do I see the feeling, pivot and go somewhere else. Not even how. Like, do I want to?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the how... Do you want to talk about the how?
Well, the how doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's just, like, go where you're going.
Like, pivot already.
Yeah.
Shit.
And, like, other people are pivoting and zooming around.
And, like, sometimes we pivot. Oh.
Exactly. You smash into each other.
And sometimes it offends us and sometimes
it's like, ooh, that was fun. Like, I like you want to pivot
That's a
some
fun
more?
pivot.
Like, let's hold hands and, like, pivot together.
And sometimes like,
Yes.
oh, goodness me.
I'm not. Yes.
So what we've been, like, it keeps crossing my mind that I have all of these, like, tremendous feelings. And, like, the tremendous feeling that just came over me was, like, Sheena, why are you so bossy? Like, why do you take over everything? So I'm releasing that really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning, like, who I am as I get older.
Mm-hmm. You're a leader.
And then what is, so, okay, because when I read your book, so guys, I've obviously read Kamoy's book lots of, anyways. I've been part of lots of books, which is, like, the biggest honor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I can imagine how a midwife feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, your book's
Like,
midwife.
So
And
we're
you really
not,
did,
we
like-
are not your book's midwife. There was some copywriting things, stuff. So we're not that. But kudos to you, the book midwife, for knowing that feeling, because it's the sickest feeling ever. So, anyways, when Kamoy first sent me the first draft, I was like, shit.
Wow.
maybe I could do some more side hustle. And then I was like, stop. You're doing that.
Yes.
So now I'm like, but I still did it anyways because it's really fun.
You still just did
I
the
still-
Oh my goodness, I love it. What
I
did
do
you
with my
create?
kids. With my kids. Like their Freezy shop.
What?
They sell
Yo, this is dope.
listen,
Goodness,
you guys,
yo.
like, you have to grab this book. You have to grab this book. Later on there'll be more information about where you can grab this book, but you're gonna have to grab it because you need to. Like, this is the thing, right? So do you want to speak to, like, what, like, manifesting looks like?
Manifesting. It's that creation that I was talking about earlier of, like, seeing it in our mind and then just putting it into reality.
Like, letting it. And it's funny that you chose, like, the action of writing a book.
Yeah.
Not funny because you're an author, so it's not
just powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And that. So that feeling for me shows up on so many levels.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think we all have these, like, really. We all have these visions. I'm saying we. Usually I speak for myself, but I think that this is true for everyone. This, like, remarkable, overwhelming vision of something.
Yes.
But then I am like, stop it. That's crazy.
How dare you?
Yeah. What
Look
are
at
you
yourself.
thinking? You fool. Like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you move through, pivot through, jump over, swim through, get around that feeling.
With bravery and courage and just being calm. Like, I found that, like, when I just calmed my mind and slowed everything down, I'm just in complete action. And love. Yeah.
Okay, what does that even look like, though? Like, okay,
like,
guys.
actually expressing love, like...
It's true. This is true. Okay, so this is what I'm realizing. Kamoy and I both have, like, mismatched earrings on. Like, I have one, like, a magic crazy, and, like, Kamoy's got one long one and one, like, crab in her ear. Like, we're both in, like, it's a lobster.
I'm going from a lobster to a rockstar.
And so, like, I recognize that when people see, I mean, it depends on the day that you find me. Like, sometimes I look magic, sometimes I don't. I don't know.
I feel like myself, too.
Today I'm like, I just wanted to be, like...
look magic.
Thank you. You look magic.
Thank you.
And then I always wonder, like, what does that look like to other people? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, I think when I was younger, I used to be more curious, and my curiosity made me think that they wouldn't think that my witchness, my, like, magic is cool enough, so I tried to, like, conform. And then, like, I got a little bit older, and I was like, I forgot to care. And now I'm at this point again, like, I forgot that, like, caring is a thing in reality. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear
was
what
like,
you're saying.
damn the man, I don't really care. Like, I didn't care. And then now I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, like, all of our perceptions are important at any given time. And like you said, actually, I'm going to really hold that in my life today and for the next little while. Like, sit with something quietly. Like, so, like, instead of being reactionary.
Yeah.
And we hear that all the time, but, like, I feel like you're meaning it on a level of, like...
Just, like, stillness.
Yeah, and, like, breathe through the thing.
And just being with it.
Instead of fighting, like, okay, when I was giving birth with my first, the woman who was my midwife, like, I haven't seen you in many moons, but if you're listening to this from 7th generation midwives, if you're listening, I want to say thank you. So, when it became, so I was like, oh, I'll never use drugs and all of that, like, whatever, that's fine. It was cute and everything. And then I hit this point.
So cute.
And, like, our parents, like, as a first grandchild, all of our parents are like, you have to be in the hospital when I can't do this at home.
Just
and
go be a nurse. Like, it's,
you know,
cultural.
So we go to the hospital, and I'm, like, laboring. I'm cool. And then it hits this point where I'm like, fuck this shit.
Yes.
So, I'm like, no, I need the drugs. I need the epidural. I go in to get the epidural. Really long story short, I go from 0 to 10 centimeters in like 30 seconds.
Oh my.
Makes no sense. No one's ever seen it. They were like, it's impossible. We just checked you and da-da-da-da. But I'm jumping out of the chair.
Wow.
And the anesthesiologist is screaming, you're going to be paralyzed. And so my partner at the time held me to the bed and really anchored me. And so for that, I will be forever grateful. But I have now the epidural, but it's not working because Azan Moses Simcha is ready, and that's just how he is.
Yes.
So now I'm in labor, and I'm like, I'm screaming like that, mouth wide screaming. And one of the midwives, and I don't even remember her name, but she was at my side, and she goes, shut your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
You see your face? Now, so I was still in a very polite phase of my life, like, oh, okay. And then she realizes, but what I found so magic about this woman is that she didn't, there was no apology. And why there was no apology is because she was helping me give birth.
Yeah.
She goes like this, you're wasting all of your air. Shut your mouth.
Oh my goodness, I love her.
It was so bold, and it popped me right back into the moment instead of like, this hurts so much, I can't do it. She popped me back in.
Wow.
And then May came to my pinky toes, and annoyingly, this drove it made me nuts, okay? She's like, there's supposed to be some pressure points on your toes that are supposed to relax you.
Yeah.
And it was not doing that. And had this have been Sheena now in her 30s, Sheena would have been like, don't touch my foot.
Okay.
But then I was like, okay, it might work. Not working. But in the moment that she's saying, and I feel like these women are so magic because it feels like, in hindsight, like all of it was on purpose. Like they anticipated every reaction I would have and still did what they did.
Wow.
And she says this,
let it be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You are not in labor, you are in life. There are ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
Let each one be strong.
Mm-hmm.
As sure as it comes, it will go.
Yes.
And I was like, in that very moment, it changed a part of my soul.
Yes.
Because instead of fighting each ebb and flow, I just let it come and go.
Wow, that's so beautiful. It's like I have chills and shivers. And yeah.
I feel like, I think for me, like, remember at the beginning you said, that's the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's that pivotal moment for me in my life where I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Regardless of who's doing it. Everyone's having babies. What, you're not going to have your baby?
I don't know what I thought. I really don't know. I was done.
Oh my God.
And then, you know what's so funny? With the second one, with Second Meds, it was so easy because I spent the whole time saying, like, let it come and go. And she just like, bloop.
Yeah.
Like, here I am.
And that's like, exactly Becky. She's just like, here I am. I love it.
Oh, my children.
Wow. Greetings.
Oh, do you want to join us?
Oh, magic.
Anya's here from Urban Curls, and she's gonna join the conversation. I'm like, can we get you set up on the chair?
Yes. Just everybody's having babies.
Except for me.
Well, no, and so what's it? So guys, Anya's here from Urban Curls, but like, where else do we find you?
Well, you can find me online. Instagram, YouTube.
Can you tell us what else you do though?
So I call myself a content creator. I love to edit videos. I love making videos and coming up with concepts and posting it. I started out doing hair videos online, hence why I'm a hairstylist now. And I'm kind of venturing into some other interests, building something around relationships as well as travel, and trying to combine both at the same time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, like, why I think my job is so fucking awesome sometimes is because, like, there's, like, all of these women and men who, like, actually make something out of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have an idea, you're like, I'm just gonna do it. And so, and I was sharing with Kamoy this morning, or lately, the feeling that has been coming over me is, like, who do I think I am? Like, someone else, if my idea was actually that good, someone else would have already done it. So who do I think I am doing it?
Right.
That's been the feeling.
Okay.
And then having to be like, that's actually stupid. Like, that's a stupid feeling. Like, that's what I have to tell you. You're being stupid right now. Not like, you know, the Sheena is like, that's ridiculous. And like, no one else had the vision for it. That's why you're doing it. And so I'm hearing you say, like, you know, I'm just having this vision of like combining these two things out of nothing, and that's what I'm gonna do. And
it's good. The process is good, and
hideous.
And and because of
Birthing.
absolutely,
It's so powerful.
and because I've actually been in an experience before where I created something out of something I'm not really sure was gonna take off.
What do you
in
mean?
a way.
Say it.
So it was actually natural hair. I just stumbled with doing YouTube videos because of my own struggle in another country and not knowing how to do my hair.
Whoa.
So it was like I did it so that I could be accountable to it and stick to being natural. Because I always went back and forth between natural and chemical. But if I put it out there and I show other people that I'm doing it, then I have to be responsible with that. Yeah. So it forced me to like create a buzz around natural hair in Toronto. And then
And you really did.
I did, yeah.
You really
a little
did.
pat on the shoulder. I really did. But now it's like I needing to go into something else. And because there was such an anxiety around being successful and turning a hobby into money, making money.
This is hilarious. That's what this book is about.
Yeah. So it's right now, because I'm starting something new again, I'm now at a place of peace and no longer anxiety. That shift is so different. So yeah, I'm tapping into what you discussed before.
Yeah, this is exactly it.
So awesome.
And yet, like, it's okay. So let me understand, because for me, like, monetizing things is like the funnest part for me. Like, that's the part where I'm like, this is so cool. Because I don't know if I am a content creator, or I feel like I'm a platform and a space creator. Like, that's what my spirit does, you know. And then monetizing them, or like monetizing is such an annoying buzzword right now. What I mean to say is like creating an exchange so that everyone's life is more comfortable.
Right.
And so like that part for me is like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
You know, like once someone hits that point, it's like, oh, okay, then you're clear sailing until you hit the next like little bump, and that's because you want to go from like $100,000 to $1 million, and then like learning who you are in the process of all of it, anyways. I think that is so fun. I love that I'm sitting with like brilliant, like actual creators right now.
I have to get your book. Do you have copies here?
I will later on tonight.
Okay, tonight. Like here? Like I
No,
can
not
get a
here
copy?
tonight.
Not in this very
Not,
space,
but you will be.
But like they will be in the world and created and manifested.
Awesome. I would love to hear your story.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell her, like, tell everyone a little bit more about it? Because it's like, it's not a story, and this is the coolest part.
Well, it's a 2-in-1, so it's a workbook as well as like something that you can read and follow the guides.
Okay.
So it's a journal space, and you can write in it, mark it up, tear it up, and you create a side hustle. Like if you sit down and do the work of the journal, you will have a business at the end of the book.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Like, it's so sick. It really is.
So it puts you in a space where you can just pull out like whatever ideas that you're having, like things that you don't even know that you would stumble on. You're like, oh my god, like I'd be good at that, and like I'm just gonna do it. Like I
the ones that you
created a plan.
tease around, right? You're like, I wonder if.
Or maybe
no.
that would work. Like maybe, like just going for it and getting into the action part. So that's the book.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next kind of topic.
You wanna talk to Kina about Urban Cups?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. I'll see if she's free.
So, actually,
what you were saying earlier about birthing was so brilliant, and just thinking about having a child. Like, do we look at a pregnant woman? Like, does a woman look at another pregnant woman and say to her, oh, I don't think my baby will be good enough, so I'm not going to have a baby.
Whoa.
I'm not going to have a baby because you're already having a baby. And if we look at like, I just made that connection, and it just blew my entire mind to like the next.
I haven't been knocked off in a long time.
The next elevated level. I'm just like, whoa! Like we have to create. We have to.
Like we have to give birth.
Yes, we have to give birth.
Shit, Kamoy.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank
Whoa.
you. We have to give birth. It's why we're here. We're here to create and to like do and to build and to grow and live.
I am grateful for this moment right now.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. So stumbling upon that, it's just like, I feel like now my how is, because I've struggled with the how in the past. Like I've struggled with being stuck. Even with like writing the book and getting it like out, like I wrote it in a day, but it took like 6 months to publish, and like you were there and you're like, let's go girl, like, and it's having that like, oh, this has already been done. This has already been created. With my other side hustle, my jewelry business, everyone makes jewelry. This has already been done. But it's not my baby.
Why wouldn't I still give birth?
Yes.
Just because you gave birth.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? You've had a kid. I'm just not gonna.
Yes. Yeah. And even Anya was speaking about, she created one business and it was like, oh, this birthing is hard. And now the next one that she's creating, it's that ease that you were speaking about with Seki. And it's like,
oh my gosh, you're right. Like
Yeah.
the second ones, like the next ones. I feel like so far this has been my favorite thing about my 30s.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's that. It's like, I've seen, you know, like I've seen like 3 decades worth of stuff.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And like that's not a lot. Like my parents have seen like 6 and
Yes.
like their parents 8 and like that's lots of decades. But like the more decades you see, the more I've been realizing that things sort of repeat themselves. And so like I keep getting these opportunities to like be in the situation. It's like, how now am I gonna do it? You know? And so like in my 30s now I feel like, oh, I saw this before. You know what, I'm okay.
Yes.
Like I'll be okay with this one.
Yeah.
And then there's still ones that are brand new, of course. Like obviously I'm only in my 30s. And so I hit those ones like what do I do? And then the elders are like, oh my goodness. Just relax.
Just kibba.
What's wrong with you? I feel like I look like that when I
Something's happening.
You guys can't see me, but I'm sort of like flailing my arms around. Because that's what I feel like when I'm sort of like, oh no, this is brand new water for me.
Yes.
But then like what? Like what's the thing? And like I feel like now I'm old enough to allow myself to have the fluttering moment.
Yeah.
Before I'm like okay, may not have seen this before, but you know someone who has. Or you know how to sit with you. Like, just let it be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I feel like I'm having that as well.
Like the fluttering moment, or you're like, no, I'm letting it be strong right now?
I'm just letting it be strong and being okay with that. Just being okay with like not having to be inside of a box or having to be anywhere.
Wow, this is like the recurring theme. You are number 9 of 10 days, and the recurring theme with everyone has been like not having to be stuck in this thing and like having to like burst through it somehow. And that is sort of like, it's been so cool to meet all of these people. And like sometimes, so like I know I've told all of you authors and I told all of the owners, but I don't know if I've spoken with everybody about how I feel that when a person decidedly becomes an author or undecidedly becomes an author, they also become an entrepreneur. And so being an entrepreneur means that like you have to sell things, you have to convince the world that like your stuff is good enough. And so part of why I linked authors with other types of entrepreneurs is so that like there's this like real life connection that like we're all doing when we're talking about reaching out on Instagram and DMing and talking about collaborations, which are sick and super awesome and like perfect, right? But then we're still like, there's still that one other piece. Like what if there's, not what if, I'm creating. I want to create that piece where now you can see these guys and hail each other up on the street.
Creators who actually create. Especially in the multimedia age. It's posting, right? But are you like, what is actually happening? Like, what are we actually creating? So
and it's wonderful. You like I want to say like social media to me is amazing. Like I now have a relationship with this young woman in South Africa. Come on in.
What's up?
So Kina, the owner of Urban Curls Hair Studio, has just stepped in to join us, and I want to say thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming and giving us a little bit of recognition on your work that you're doing here.
Yeah. So guys, you can't see Kina, and you'll get pictures later, but she's like really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's like marvelously beautiful. I hope you take lots of pictures just of yourself, period. You don't do that?
No. I'm usually behind the scenes. I'm behind the scenes, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna blow up your scene then, because I gotta take lots of pictures. You guys have to see her. But that doesn't, you know what, it's so annoying talking about this, because like we had a long time where it was like, being beautiful was like the best thing, and then it was like, oh, just because I'm beautiful doesn't mean I'm smart, and I'm like, oh, fucking kid, she's like amazing. Urban Curls is beautiful to look at, but also like you come in and the ambiance is incredible. Like you've really created an amazing space here. Could you give us like a little piece of like where did this birth from? Where did this stem from?
It just stemmed from a few stylists that have a passion for natural hair and a passion for educating others on how to take care of their hair, really. That's where it stemmed from. And, you know, like, as you said before, the ambiance, when you came in, you know, like, you can feel the warmth.
Yeah.
We wanted to have that atmosphere for our clients where you feel comfortable, you feel safe, and it's also warm and inviting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ding dong.
Yeah.
They know I'm coming.
Yes. Sometimes we guess who's coming up the stairs just by the way how they come up. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, I'm gonna just like I'm gonna make up my own entrance at some point. So okay, we've been talking about like giving birth to creative ideas, and like, is this your first business, second, third, fifth?
It's my first real business, but long time ago I used to, like, when I first, like, my love of hair started at a very young age.
Okay.
So it's something that I've always been interested in doing, and I've always been doing hair. So as a teenager I started Need Your Hair Done, which is an on-call traveling hair service that I used to do. And I called you. I had a lot of people call me, and, you know, the same thing that we do now, which is just social media marketing. That's how I started, and, you know, I felt that's how everything has been going. And like now we just kind of we created our business on social media, really. And so it's just been an amazing journey for us.
So cool. So okay, like I was just commenting on how like actually magic witchness Kamoy and I really look, and then I remembered that we're in a space where like not everybody, like nobody wears one earring except for me and Kamoy.
I was gonna ask you, I was like, oh, she's one missing.
Yeah, and Suzanne. That's it.
Oh yeah, there are some. Oh yeah, yes. And so like, what does that, like, knowing that there's so many ways that women get to be, not women, humans, like, what is your way that you be here? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you flow through this life?
I believe that you have to first have purpose in life. Find purpose for whatever you're doing, you know. That gives me better direction as to where to go. So like for my purpose is giving back to others. And so when I look at things, like, I look at it as giving back. I also give thanks every day to God.
Yeah.
Like, it's good to meditate in the mornings just to kind of get yourself grounded before, you know, the day begins, and kind of vision how you want the day to go and who you want to send love to and stuff like that. It's very important to, you know, like, be within yourself, know, you know, what it is that you can.
Do you do it every day?
I try to. I wake up, I have 2 alarm clocks. I set one at 6 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock. 6 o'clock is just my get up, you know, like, slowly get up. I'm awake. I'm here, but I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, I'm in my bed still.
But still sort of meditating while I'm slowly waking up.
I love your magic.
Yeah, it works really good, and just being consistent, like every day, just consistently taking steps towards that goal that you might, that thing.
Yeah.
That thing that, you know.
What's your next thing?
Next thing is just something like this, but bigger and better and more classier and more upscale. I can't share all the secrets with you.
That's okay.
But we want to have a school. Wow. We want to change the way how hairstylists look at natural hair. It's going to be hard, but
no, it's going to be easy. And you're going to go through every flow.
It's going to be easier because we have this step here. It was hard getting to this step.
Of course.
You know, the battles, the setbacks, Newton's law, you know, but like we made it. So, and I love that we can like grow our community as well. We have a lot of natural products from Canadian distributors and product developers, and that's one thing that I want to see more of, is our community grow in a whole, like coming together and just growing.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. It's beautiful.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm excited by the way that you do magic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm actually like, I think I do that but didn't mean to do that, so now I'm gonna do it on purpose. Thank you for, like, in the morning time, like, I always have tons of alarms that it's just to like alarm me, but now
I like this as well.
You know what too, there's this book I love reading books. I don't like For me, I'm kind of like that free spirit person that says, you know what, read books, go on YouTube, learn different things,
Yeah.
versus like going to school and wasting your money and time, because you can learn so much through books. And so one of my thing is books that are motivational, inspiring, and some books that are going to teach me something and help me to be a better leader, a better, like person within myself. So one of the books that I found that really like helped me to develop consistency in my life it's from Darren Hardy. It's called The Compound Effect.
This book keeps coming up. Someone just sent me a message 5 minutes ago.
About the compound effect?
Yes.
It's an amazing book. I did the audiobook while I'm driving. I can listen and just, there's just so much that you can learn from all these wonderful, inspiring, but Darren Hardy Darren Hardy, I'm telling you.
The truth, eh? Like, are you there, what?
Yes, he is definitely, when it comes on to like direction, having purpose, finding, that within yourself, and actually he's giving you the tools you need to just implement it. Those are the kind of stuff I love, and that's what's brought me here, honestly. That's what's brought me here, and just having good people around you.
Yeah.
Very important.
Amazing. Okay, well, we know your day is incredibly busy. Are you still free to talk a little bit longer?
Anya's taking care of my client right now. But 1 second, let me just see what part she's at.
I was actually thinking about the word potency and potential.
Whoa.
And applying full potency for full expression of potential. What is potential? Like your use of like if you potently do something.
It's like, when you're saying it, I'm seeing like skunk spray, and like it's potent because its potential is like spans.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is trippy. This is a little far out for not.
Potency and potential.
Okay, it worked.
Nice.
So, Kamoy, take over the last. We've been doing lots of singing on this podcast. Take over the last little while and just sort of like ask what you want to ask.
So I wanted to ask you, Kina, like, what is it about your vision that drives you to turn it into more of a side, like less of a side hustle and more into like a big business? How do you go from side hustling to big business?
Okay, so let's rewind. My side hustle. What I loved about my side hustle was that I had freedom and all that stuff. But I actually didn't have my credentials.
Yeah.
So what was happening was that I was doing people's hair. It was looking great, but on the inside, it wasn't healthy. The scalp was a mess, So I had to step back and say, well, what am I doing here that I can improve on? Because for me, I'm very in tune with what's around me. Like if people stop calling as much, or if I realize that people are not rebooking, I'm like, okay, what can I do to change my strategy to make things work again? So one of my strategies was like, I need to get my credentials. I need to learn how to do hair. I need to actually learn, because I was weaving. I was just doing my natural skills. So after I've learned how to do that, then the reason actually why I got this tattoo here, I have a tattoo of the scissors on my wrist. I have color on my wrist, but you can see it. And the reason why I got this was because after I went to school, for apprenticing, and I just wanted to work while I learned. Yeah. And one thing I found was that one of my weaknesses was cutting hair and giving it balance and structure and a good foundation. Even though I knew how to give a great shape, a good foundation was still missing. So that pushed me to want more and to get it further. And then once I learned how to get a good foundation, and I learned a little bit about natural hair, I learned about the scalp, everything just kind of amplified from there.
Yeah.
Because, like, once you start doing something and you do it long enough, you get really good at it and you get better at it.
The thing you do over and over.
Yeah, and that's like the compound effect. Same thing.
Yeah.
You do it over, you get better, you
Do it
customize,
again.
and things you'll just see, they just start to grow. So when I actually was working at a very big, reputable salon, but what I found was that I wasn't growing in that salon. I reached a stage, I was there for 7 years, so I reached a stage where I plateaued, and I don't like being stagnant. I'm a Gemini. I don't like staying still. I need to keep it moving. So I was like, what is next? And what I did realize is that I wasn't being appreciated enough. And like as stylists, we want to feel appreciated. We want to feel
you've done a great job.
Yeah, and you want to feel that, you know, that you mean something to the business. So I didn't feel that way, even though I knew I did mean a lot to them. So I felt like I had to leave and start something. And when I was leaving, I thought, you know what, these curls, I want to do something else. Like, I want to just do hair. I love hair. I love everything about hair. Even though I specialize in curls now that I've been apprenticing at this place and been there for 7 years, I just want to start fresh. So leaving there and starting fresh was a real eye-opener for me. I had to start from the bottom and come back up again. But I knew that I had to get real hungry in order to get where I wanted to be. I had to like really, really like want it bad enough. And
like that you weren't going to stop when shit was happening.
Exactly. And so you have to have a good reason why, right? So my reason why was I didn't want to be bossed around by no bosses anymore. I wanted to have flexibility to see my son anytime I wanted, and I wanted to make my own schedule. I didn't want to work on Saturdays anymore. I'm Seventh-day Adventist, so like I was born Seventh-day Adventist. All my family worships on Saturday, and I need my day of rest. That's my day of rest. That's my family's day of rest.
So with that driving force, like, what was the emotion behind it? Because I feel like our successes and like our desires are powered by emotion.
The emotion was my bosses. I didn't want them to, because I felt I wasn't appreciated.
So was it a striving for like your freedom?
It was like striving for freedom and personal growth. They did not want personal growth out of any stylist. They want you to be all the same.
Yeah.
So there's no room for personal growth. So I needed personal growth. I needed to be free, and that was my pushing force. And then everything compounds after that. They didn't want me to post online. They didn't want me to do my social media, even though it would have helped their business. They thought I was doing it for a selfish reason, which I wasn't. And so stepping back,
even if you were, what's wrong with that?
They thought that there was something wrong. So no one is allowed to post pictures of their clients, which is very harming to the business, because nowadays you need social media. That's it. Like in my generation, as I said before, I started off with social media at 16. So just imagine now I'm 32, you know. So like.
Hold on, what social media were you on at 16?
Black Planet Girl.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Black
alright,
Planet,
sorry. I'm not thinking about that.
You remember Black Planet?
I wasn't thinking of it like that. But now I'm thinking like,
we had pages. I
You're
used to make HTML pages. I used to have.
But we didn't even have cell phones really.
No, we didn't have cell phones. I had captions flying across. Yes, so I even knew how to do all of that stuff. I don't know how I did it, but like.
It was real though. It was real.
Adjusting with the times and just move with the times and adjust. You have to adjust with the times.
And I like, you know, as you're saying that, I'm like, I really want to make sure now that I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because one of the things. So how old is your son?
He is 9 next month.
And mine's 8. Mine's turning 9.
Yeah. 2008? Was he born 2008?
Yeah, he's turning 9 in September.
Yeah.
So you know, like, is he really into like watching people do things on YouTube?
Yeah.
And I'm like, first I'm like, what the? I don't even know what to say. Like, why wouldn't you go do it? And then I realized, like, my parents said the same thing to me about something.
Watching
They
unboxing
watch
of
it,
toys.
but what I realized, so hearing Kina say that, like, you like learning things, and like our baby's generation, they like usurp information, like they don't actually have to physically do it. So I'm trying to watch them and learn. Like my son will do that. He knows everything about Pokemon and Zelda. That like, and he'll really is he on that right now?
Oh yeah, he's on like everything.
It's just crazy. Like my son will be like, Mom, you know what you're acting like right now? Like a Pikachu Raipola. Like, I'm like, Asan, I'm sorry, babes. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like,
really?
YouTube it.
What do you do at night? Like, I don't watch Pokemon.
The biggest thing now is the fidget spinners.
Yes.
All the
Don't
kids
get
all
me
over.
started.
everywhere. My son's like, I want them for my birthday. I'm like, okay, but you already have some. Don't you want like a bicycle or something
want
else?
But those actually came out in 1999.
No.
Seriously?
So what is the spark that had fidget spinners blow up?
There was a
ADHD.
spark. It probably was a YouTube thing.
Mhm.
It must have been.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So this is like a proud mom moment. Onyx Barbers. You know Onyx?
Yes.
Okay. So they're also not open on Saturdays. We did our day 6 with them on Sunday with Kelvin Gums. So anyways, there's like, it was an awesome podcast, by the way. You're gonna have to listen to it. It's fantastic.
Nice.
We there's like fidget spinners in the thing, and my kids had come with for this particular event, and my son comes and like whispers to me during the podcast, okay, Mom, I really want to buy that fidget spinner. I'm like, bro, like, go sit down.
Yeah, wait.
So now it's done. He's like, no, I was telling you. My kids don't whisper. Just your son. My kids don't whisper.
He's true. No,
What are you
yeah.
doing?
Oh yeah, my son does that. Yeah.
You don't know. He says, I want to proposition Mr. Gums. I want to proposition Mr. Kelvin, because he already knows him as an author. He's like, what if I sell his book and he gives me money to sell his book? I'm like, well, ask him. So he says, Mr. Kelvin,
Sounds like my son.
right? How much do you sell your book for? Mr. Kelvin's like, 15. He's like, what if I take some of that money and I give you the rest? Mr. Kelvin's like, how about we take, like, you take 5, I take 10. So now Azana's like, perfect.
Yes.
I'm like, what is it you're trying for? I forgot about the fidget spinner. What are you trying to do right now? He's like, Mom, I'm gonna get that fidget spinner. I'm like, cool. How much money is it? He said, it's $20. How many books do you have to buy? You have to sell. He's like, I gotta sell 4. I'm like, well, like, get to work. He sells all 4. First he sells 3. He's like, maybe I'll just get the cheaper one. I'm like, well, what do you want? He's like, I want the big one. I said, sell one more buck.
Okay.
So he goes and sells one more. He comes, he gets the fidget spinner, and he's just like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm like, can I pack up? Is that all right with you? He's like, thank you very much. Plus, you owe your sister some money now because she helped because she was so cute. That's why you sold the books. That's it. But
They're little hustlers, eh?
Yeah.
My
They're for
son,
real.
he's a negotiator. He will try and negotiate his way out of anything. Anything.
And I try not to be bothered by them because I'm like, I respect that hustle. But somehow I'm like, bro, this is not up for, you have to bathe.
No.
Unless you smell. Like, what?
Yeah, my son tries to negotiate that too. I'm like, no, that's dirty. You gotta go bathe.
You
I'm
gotta go
sorry.
bathe.
It's part of their genetic wealth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Makes them
Yeah.
stronger.
But my son is very serious, so he'll be like, yep, I bathe. I'm like, but why can I still smell you? That makes no sense. You just wasted my water, you owe me $5. Get back in the shower.
My son doesn't even turn the water on. I'm like, I didn't even hear the water. I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. Like, I didn't even hear the water.
Like, what do they think? This is actually a good note to close on. I really love, thank you for getting so real, both of you.
Yes.
Like, Urban Curls, Kina, thank you for having
My
us
pleasure,
here.
Sheena.
Thank you for, and so what I haven't said to you that all of the other owners heard on the podcast is, the reason for this is so that on, a human heart level, I can walk down the street and see you, and you see me, and we can hug each other and be like, what? We, had an intimate conversation with each other.
Yes.
And the two of you can do the same.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
So that's, on the heart level. On the business level, it's now everybody's hearing more about everybody else. And that, to me, is, equally as important. And social media is amazing, and I love it, and I honor it. And I'm finding that there can be ways for us to collaborate quicker and faster with more of us,
Yes.
more lovingly. It's totally
Absolutely.
possible.
I love what you're doing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Great.
Kamoy, thank you.
Yeah.
Your magic is what?
Thank you, Sheena, so much for having me.
No problem.
Kicking it with me and you too.
Yeah, I love kicking it.
Yeah.
This is so great.
Yeah, this was
And I
amazing.
need you to help me with my hair at some point.
Me too.
Anytime.
I was looking,
I'm gonna hook you guys up. No worries.
In there with my hair looking.
I know. I tried so hard
You
to
know
fix it. She wants to see so much her
No,
hair.
man, you look good.
Put oil in it.
Don't worry, I got you guys.
Thank you.
I got you guys. This is book appointment. I got you.
All right, let's
Okay.
do that. So
Yeah.
thank you, listeners. This is day 9 of a 10-day process. 10-10-10.
So I just want to say, if you guys want to hit us up, you can visit us online, www.urbancurls.ca, and you can check us out on Instagram. It's Urban Curls 416. Thanks again for your time.
Perfect. And all of that information will, of course, be like continually posted through things, but you'll be able to see all of the tags between everybody, and it's easier to even just click on the link.
Great. All right. Thank you.
So, yes, thank you for joining us for 10-10-10, and we will see you on Saturday for the last day. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Author's Corner, DDP's podcast. Make sure you subscribe and you share and you tell a friend, like up close and personal, tell a friend. Make sure you let all of your author friends know, and if you happen to be an author, make sure you reach out. We'd love to hear from you. This is your soapbox. Okay, we'll catch you next time. Peace and blessings.